Hey, you got a box? Let's get rid of the box. So now there's a smaller box and some candy from Sweetwater. Sweet! So I was watching a fellow YouTuber on a guitar buying trip that he did. Tyler Larson, Music is Win, is his channel. And he got something a little unusual. And I'm going to include some pictures because back in, I would say, the mid-70s, I was getting pretty heavily into guitar, electric guitar. And as I've mentioned before, one of my favorite groups was Yes, along with other groups, but Yes in particular in regards to this. There's a company called Danelectro. Nathan Daniels, or Daniel, one of the two, started Danelectro after working at Epiphone making amplifiers, and he started making amplifiers on his own. And somehow he hooked up with Sears and Roebuck and Montgomery Ward, and he was the sole amplifier maker for both of those department store type companies. Think about that. That's huge. And that was like in the late 40s or early 50s. Fast forward a little bit and he started making guitars, specifically I think because those companies asked him for guitars after Fender and Gibson had come out with their solid body electrics. So Danelectro started making less expensive guitars for the department stores in particular, and those were under other brand names. Silvertone was for Sears, Airline was for Montgomery Ward, and he used the Danelectro name for a little bit more upgraded versions to sell to music stores. Fast forward just a little bit more, mid-60s. He teamed up with a gentleman, Vincent Bell, and they created another brand called Coral to produce the Coral electric sitar that Vincent Bell, a studio musician, he had come up and he made one himself, but they wanted to try and produce one as a production guitar to add that different kind of a character. So they produced the Coral electric, the Bell Coral electric sitar, and they also introduced a less expensive one, a little less fancy. It didn't have drone strings on it, called the Baby Sitar. Not too long after that, Nathan sold the company to MGA Universal, I think is the name of the company. Very, very shortly afterwards, because the new owners were changing things up, probably like many new company owners, they want to streamline things, figure out ways to make them for less money, still to get more profit basically. So make them not quite as nice maybe, less expensive manufacturing techniques, make them a little faster, maybe not quite as nice. Sears decided to cancel their relationship. In 68 or 69, Danelectro was shut down. 30 years later, it was bought by another gentleman who wanted to revive the name, mainly for pedals, and that was in 1998, I believe. Yeah, 1998, and no, 97. And the next year he came out because they were requested. He started producing guitars again. So the Sitars are a little not everybody wants to play a sitar or wants that sound. I really appreciate that sound, and looking at some of my music, I could see where that would be a very beneficial thing to add to the sounds that I have available through some of my other guitars. So, after being inspired by Tyler Larson's video, he bought one from another company. He bought his used from another company called Jerry Jones, who was a huge fan of Danelectro, and he started making smaller numbers, slightly higher quality, and that's the one that Tyler had gotten, and made me get this. This is the Danelectro Baby Sitar. It's almost in tune. I'll be back in just a few seconds after I tune it up and get set up to play it. So the Danelectro Baby Sitar. It looks pretty small. It's a full size or full scale length guitar, 24 3/4-inch scale length. It has what has become known as the Buzz Bridge from Goto. One single lipstick tube pickup, which is a fairly low output pickup. And I believe it was designed by Nathan Daniels. And they call it a lipstick tube because these were made by the same company. The tube, or the enclosure, was made by the same people that were making tubes for lipstick companies. So when I first ordered this, I was a little worried about how it was going to sit on a strap, thinking it was going to be a little bit neck heavy. It's not bad at all. So here, my first trial run with this. Interesting sounds. I already have a song that I've been working on when I first decided that I was indeed going to order one of these. I almost ordered a copy. I believe it was made by Rogue that somebody had offered for sale used. And it has the basic guitar, but it has 13 sympathetic or drone harp strings up here, a little bit different body shape, and that is designed after the original Coral, kind of the Pro model Coral electric sitar. Almost ordered that. I wasn't feeling good about the harp strings. 13 little tiny short strings to keep tuned to different things depending on what you're playing didn't sound like fun to me. So I started looking more for the more stripped down version, the baby electric sitar. Didn't see any used. I was able to talk with my rep at Sweetwater. They didn't have any demos, but I was able to get this at a little bit of a discount from him. Thank you very, very much, Sweetwater, for doing that for me. And I'm looking forward to figuring out now what I am going to create to play on kind of an ambient track to add a little bit of an Eastern type flavoring to it with the sitar type sound. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, please subscribe. Click the little bell down over there so that you can be notified the next time I post a video. Could be taking a look at something that I just did. Could be a review of one of the flutes from my collection. Could be a music video where the Native American style flute kind of takes center stage doing the melody line, either on its own, solo, or with many other different types of instruments, including now the electric baby sitar from Danelectro. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.